Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel Brady, mum of two, stay-at-home mum, and yeah, I blog about family stuff, family food, books, anything really that interests me. So today's video is a book review. So that's probably why I said book in the intro. So yeah, I used to run Mother Booker's online book club, but we just didn't have the energy to keep up with it. But that doesn't mean I stopped reading, far from it. I read every single night. It's one of the only constants really in my life. I read every single night. I mean, even when I was still drinking, which I don't drink anymore, but even if I'd been out on a night out, I would try and come in and read, which was quite funny because often it ended up in me going, no, I'm just kind of not. Yeah, so I do read every single night. And I just thought, well, why, even though I'm not doing the book club, doesn't mean I don't have to do book reviews, because I'm always reading and there's always something interesting to talk about book-wise. So yeah, today's book review is Our Endless Numbered Days, and it's by Claire Fuller, and I finished this, I'm into my next book, and I just thought it was a really interesting one. It came out a few years ago, I think. It came out in 2015, winner of the Desmond Elliott Prize. I bought it, I think, from a charity shop. And so basically it is, the synopsis tells you on the back, basically it's about an 8-year-old girl called Peggy, and she goes to live with her dad in very remotely in a log cabin, in a really basic log cabin in the middle of a German forest. I think it's in Bavaria. And to wheel back a little bit, so basically the novel starts and you're in the present day, which is 1985, and you kind of find out what happened. She was taken away without her mother's permission by her father, who was a kind of survivalist. So when we say survivalist, we're not talking Ray Mears here, we're talking, this guy is kind of focused on the end of the world and wants to know that his family are going to be ready for it. So at the start of the novel, we kind of see him and his survivalist mates all meeting up, talking about the end of the world and building shelters and things like that. So he takes it to an extreme, and then one day he takes Peggy and takes her off, and they trek across to this cabin, and the majority of the book is about, it fluctuates between the present day in 1985, where she is reunited with her mother and she's in London, and so you want to know, and she's 17 there, and you want to know what happened when they were in the log cabin. How did you end up back with your mum? Where is your dad? Because he's not in the present day. Yeah, so it's a very, it wasn't a difficult read, it was an easy read. Lots of, I mean, she's a beautiful writer, so she writes beautiful kind of descriptions and things like that. So it's a very writerly book. And she describes kind of being, in the forest with her dad. He's quite a difficult character, and the book can go into kind of quite dark territory, especially at the end. There is like a major kind of twist at the end, and definitely when I read the ending, I definitely kind of put the book down, turned the light out, and felt a bit disturbed. So it's in equal measure kind of disturbing and beautiful. It's not an easygoing read, but it's not like a heavy duty read. I would recommend it. It's really kind of unusual, and I think the cover is like perfect. It encapsulates it perfectly. It's that kind of just magical kind of Hansel and Gretel feel about it. Yeah, a lot. I mean, you're just amazed that she can write this much about the kind of, about being in a forest, but obviously when they're there, they're kind of surviving on, and at times not very well, like on kind of squirrels and berries and kind of, it's a really tough existence. And because my son is kind of 7.5, I could really imagine what that would be like, kind of being in that crazily remote, you know, difficult existence, just you and your kind of 7.5-year-old, or she's 8. But yeah, I would recommend it. It's something a bit different. Like I say, at the very ending, there is a disturbing kind of dark twist, and I do just want to warn people, if you are of a sensitive nature of that type of thing, you know, I would warn you against this book maybe, but yeah, it stays with you definitely. But I have recommended it to a few people so far after reading it. I mean, it's one of those books where it's her first novel, and she's just, wow, you know, it's just page after page of amazing, you know, plaudits for her writing and so on. She's a kind of mum of two. I think she didn't start writing till she was 40. You know, I'm writing a novel at the minute, and yeah, this book is one of those where if you're a writer or a wannabe writer, you read this and kind of feel like just packing it all in. So yeah, it's an amazing writerly book, and I do highly recommend it. So I hope you enjoyed that review, everybody, and do let me know if you've read this book or Endless Numbered Days. And yeah, give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, a thumbs down if you didn't, and let me know. What have you read recently? Have you got any good recommendations? At the minute I'm reading a vintage classic. It's Stella Gibbons, who wrote Cold Comfort Farm, which I've never actually read. I have actually got it, but I've not read it. And it's a book called Westwood, and it's about Hampstead in just after the war, and it's kind of very gentle and easygoing and just really a really nice read. So I'm really enjoying that, and I'll let you know what that's like. That's it, guys. Bye for now.